Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. I am here with the lovely, slightly stressed Zinnia. Say hello, lovely, slightly stressed Zinnia.
Hello, lovely, slightly stressed Zinnia.
Perfect. Zin did not like the fact I was faffing around with asking if she was ready repeatedly before the podcast. But are you actually ready, Zin? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm
ready. Perfect. We're going to be talking about some things today. We're going to be talking about what maybe one day we'll get Alpha 3.23 and people shouldn't listen to me when I say there's going to be released to live. Also, I want to talk about something I saw Salty Mike and a few other people talk about, but we've talked about before, which is Star Citizen a live service, or is it early access and alpha, or is it something else, or what's going on? And there's a really cool event that's going to be on Friday that you'll probably see a lot of content come out of, Beacon or BeatCon, which is like a mini fan-made CitizenCon. I say mini, it's pretty big, but it's CIG are going to be in attendance to that. It's not an official CIG event, Star Citizen event or whatever, but it's a fan-made one, and they're getting pretty big. They've been doing them for a little while now. So, how are you doing, Zin? Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate.
Perfect.
How are you?
Oh, stressed. My cat is old and has injured herself, and looking after her at the moment, and in the middle of sort of house moving. I say in the middle, I'm waiting for my conveyancer solicitors to actually confirm everything and to confirm a date. It's tired, stressed, everything's going on in the world, and we're still waiting on Alpha 3.23. You regret asking now, don't you?
No. It's good to know.
Good to know. I know, right? Right. So, Alpha 3.23. One day, we're going to get it. And Cloud Imperium have said, thanks for all your help in preparing a live release, which we're currently aiming for early this week. And we're very excited to get this update into your hands and intend to carry the momentum we've established into the rest of the patch cycle. And when they talk about the momentum, what they're talking about is loads of features being put into a patch. That's what they're saying. Now, Zin, do you think we're going to see 3.23 later today, early this week, like they say? Or do you think it's quite possible that they'll delay it even further?
I mean, maybe.
That's fine. I mean, is that a 50-50 from you?
Yeah, so they said early this week. Problem with that is it is Tuesday now. Yesterday was a bank holiday in the UK.
And that probably means all offices have the time off, right?
I think that's generally how they work, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think as well. Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday sort of thing. I mean, obviously, we're talking about relatively minor delays in the way of Star Citizen from they wanted a live build at the end of April, and they said, I was expecting it last week. And now it's sort of like still early May, but hopefully that should be coming out in the next couple of days. Now, my concern is that they are tight on time now.
Mm-hmm.
Because they said that they want to have a couple of days, or it might even be now like a day, of continuing to run the Overdrive event before running the Xenothreat Phase 6 sort of dynamic event. And then that's going to be running for a while before Fleet Week, right?
I mean, they could always postpone it till after Fleet Week.
Oh, they could postpone Xenothreat. Yeah, I mean, that is certainly a possibility now, right?
I mean, if everything's working and
So we're talking about Star Citizen, right?
Yes. Okay, if everything's working as well as it could.
Yeah.
So as long as the Overdrive event is working in 3.23, I've lost track of what we're on.
We're on 3.22.1 at the moment. We're just about to go into 3.23.
But yeah, as long as the Overdrive initiative is working, there's no reason for them to just postpone Xenothreat. It's not going to be a problem, I don't think.
Yeah, that's right. They need to get Xenothreat out, in my opinion, later this week. So they need to get 3.23 out earlier. So I'm expecting 3.23 to be live either today or tomorrow, and then Xenothreat to be run from Friday onwards. Do you feel that's a reasonable estimate?
I mean, it's a reasonable estimate. However, I would prefer Xenothreat to come after Fleet Week.
Okay, that's fair. So because they're only going to... If they do it like that, they're only going to have a week of Xenothreat before Fleet Week. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe running it after is a better idea. So tell us what you think in the sort of comments below. Do you think they're going to be running Xenothreat starting later this week? Or do you think they're going to postpone it until after Fleet Week? Or do you think they're going to run it at the same time? Like madness. I think that would be a bit crazy, especially considering the issues that they've had with Xenothreat running previously, causing even more desync. Although there's been a lot of fixes in the 3.23, and that's one of the reasons they kept 3.23 back for the last few days, is because they're trying to get into a better state with less in the way of lag and delay. Something I do want to talk about as well quickly is partial wipe. There is a partial wipe with 3.23, with Cloud Imperium saying, the official thing they said was that they are going to wipe Alpha UEC and rentals. Now, with that in mind, that specifically said, do you think that ships bought with Alpha UEC will persist between now and 3.23?
It sounds like it is.
It sounds like it. If you were judging it as in a court of law, what was said, you'd go, no, they implied that ships and vehicles would persist if you bought anything bought with Alpha UEC.
Surely they would have specified if it was the case.
So it was a comment on a Star Citizen Live, which obviously it's just a dev answering, and sometimes they misspeak, right?
Yeah.
And that internally, rentals for them could be ships bought with Alpha UEC as well, might be considered rentals. I mean, they're clearly very different things in my opinion, because they're under different categories, and he sort of specified rentals rather than ships bought with Alpha UEC, which I would have said. But so the intention is that they want to wipe Alpha UEC because they want people to test the new economy prices and rewards and the new ship prices, which leads me to believe, like, surely they should also wipe your Alpha UEC bought ships. But again, that's not what was said. So yeah, I don't know. I just want people to, if you've got Alpha UEC and you desperately think that you want to have your ships carrying over or whatever, you don't want to start from scratch, then there's no reason not to spend your Alpha UEC on buying ships now.
Yeah, because either way, your Alpha UEC is going to get wiped. Your ships may or may not get wiped.
Yes, and you might be in an opinion of, well, actually, I want to be grinding up and actually testing the economy in a bit of a different way, the way that's intended. Cool. Don't do anything. 3.23 will be launched pretty soon. Be aware that your home location that you pick in the initial 3.23 release may not get changed for quite a while, even during the 3.23 cycle. It might be actually you keep your character now and don't need to keep on remaking them, and you keep your home location now. So that looks like something that will be carried over. Bear that in mind. That's what I'm saying, because if you want to change your home location, you may have to do a full account reset or character reset. And then you lose anything you've built up. So, Zin.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a big question now. Not long. Do you consider Star Citizen a live service or early access alpha? Or you can consider it as a mesh of both, or something else as well. But people have been talking about this again recently. I saw Salty Mike literally having a big discussion about this again, and his mind has been changed on exactly what Star Citizen is and should be considered and how they should push their development. But I want to know what you think, and I want to talk about it a little bit.
I think it's an early access alpha game.
An early access alpha, so you don't see it as a live service?
No.
Okay. And do you see it as something greater than a tech demo?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so early access sort of like akin to something you'd have on early access on Steam now.
Yeah. Sort of a case of this isn't a true representation of the finished game, although it does show you what they have in mind, sort of thing.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think that's in line with a lot of CIG's recent sort of messaging. So Zylo recently talked about having to push 3.23 out the door, even if the patch isn't in the best state, and this is going to be something that they keep on doing. They sometimes need higher player concurrency. They are trying to develop a game pushing towards version 1. I suppose then it's considered a live service after that. I think that what it is that a lot of people play Star Citizen now as if it's a live service, right? And it's marketing for Star Citizen. The marketing treat it as a live service, right? They go, look at this new cool stuff. Oh, look how cool the game is at the moment. Have some really shiny trailers that look amazing. This can be the gameplay experience that you can expect in Star Citizen almost. And the reality is very different because Star Citizen is in alpha, it's in early access, and it is being developed with feedback and bug reports and all that sort of stuff. You're voluntary QA members at the moment if you're playing Star Citizen. But yeah, some people play the game as live. I've coined the whole thing development as a service, which I think is exactly what they're doing, because you can't call it a live service at the moment because there's no true persistence. They wipe stuff every so often, and the game, there's always a worry that the game can be in a 3.18 situation, which hopefully will never happen again. And by that, I mean the game is almost inaccessible for a month or two because of some new tech.
Yeah.
But Cloud Imperium have basically said, well, we need to push towards 1.0 of the game, And there may be situations where the game isn't in the best state, even in the live build, because we are trying to push out a game. We're trying to push towards that. So do you think that's reasonable? Or do you think because of the way CIG have marketed the game, and because of the way that it is treated as a live service by some, that CIG need to put a good amount of effort into making sure that the live builds of the game that we're sort of experiencing at the moment are in a reasonably playable state?
I think they should try and have the game in a playable state because it benefits them. At the end of the day, they'll have more players, they'll have more ability to gather data.
And gather money.
I mean,
it's a marketing thing, a lot of this, right? At least from my point of view.
But the thing is, you say that, but they don't do a lot of marketing, really.
What about Fleet Week? What about CitizenCon? What about the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo? Or are you saying that that's not really marketing, that's just talking to the current player base?
Yeah, that's not marketing. What marketing, I mean, like you're watching TV and an advert for Star Citizen comes on.
So you're talking about like a traditional ad campaign. Oh, okay. I consider marketing generating money, I suppose. The money generation machine.
See, I wouldn't classify it as money. I would classify it as audience.
You wouldn't classify it as money. Oh, we're trying to expand audience.
Yeah, which in turn generates money, obviously.
Yeah. So you're saying that the sort of ideal situation is for CIG to be looking at expanding audience, and that's what marketing should be doing. Should be expanding audience rather than okay. I think we see that differently. I see as the generation of money literally as marketing, and you see the increase of audience as marketing, which is they're very very much linked. But okay, that's just an interesting thing.
But like you said, because of the state that it's in, there's not much point doing my opinion of marketing, because you'll generate interest, people will come along and then be like, well, this isn't even a stable game I want to play. And they'll just end up shooting themselves in the foot. Well,
quite literally sometimes. I'm pretty sure there's a bug like that.
So obviously you have your marketing where they're literally marketing to their already current player base and generating money like that.
Monetization of the game, trying to generate money from ship sales and stuff. Okay, no, I see what you're saying. So they did say that sort of this year is a watershed year for Star Citizen, and I do think the game is going to get more and more playable, and we'll be pushing towards that kind of live service feel. I think that's sort of 4.0 is catapulting it towards that. There's obviously Squadron 42. Now, Squadron 42, I do think is coming out pretty soon. I think we're going to see it sort of early to mid 2025. I mean, I've been saying that for several years, that we're getting it the next year. But Squadron 42, you will see a traditional ad campaign almost certainly in the sort of style of what Zin's saying as well, trying to reach audience. Then I think we are sort of in the territory of live service. I want CIG to push out a game. I want them to develop a game, and the way that they are also maintaining that live service environment kind of at the moment, a faux one, is slowing development down, but it is important for the development of certain features still, and generates them so much money. It's an interesting one. It is a very unique game development. I think if any other company try and do something like Star Citizen by going, what are Star Citizen doing now? And then try and do it, it'll just collapse, that whatever they do, because Star Citizen has fallen into this way of monetizing and development, in my opinion. Do you think that's fair, or do you think there was? Yeah, because it's very unique. It went down the path of least resistance to get its huge funding and sort of state that it is now, sort of development as a service and that sort of stuff. But it seems to be working. But I just think that if any other company went, I want to do what Star Citizen's doing, it would just look awful. It would be like, well, this is terrible predatory monetization. Your artificial scarcity and FOMO, and it just looks bad. But Star Citizen's community and the way it's been built and expanded, it's just a very different beast. I've seen it develop over many, many years, and I love what CIG are doing. I do think there are obviously problems sometimes. I do think there's concerns with monetization. The game could push into that area of, well, let's just go fully play to win and just generate as much money as possible, but hopefully we'll never be there. Because you probably wouldn't want to cover Star Citizen if they went that route, would you? Would you sort of morally object?
Maybe. I don't know. It depends how much you're going to pay me.
That is the most honest answer I've ever heard. So this is why I like Zin working with me on this sort of stuff, because she's bluntly honest and has very different opinions from me, and is not scared of sharing those opinions in any form. So I've genuinely appreciated, Zin. You are a fantastic part of the community.
Thanks.
Talking about the community, there's Beacon. Beacon. I mean, it's got an at in it, but it says Beacon.
I think it's meant to be Beacon.
But you want to be at the con.
Yes.
That starts this Friday, the 10th. Their sort of tagline is Beyond Stanton. There's tickets still available. It's in Belgium. It's in Liege. It's in Belgium. I'll put links down below. So CIG will be in attendance to a degree, and there's some panels and stuff going to be going on. There are over 4,000 people attending, I believe. Yeah, tons of panels, loads of stuff to do, loads of CIG and Star Citizen-y type stuff going on, but it is a fan-made CitizenCon event. Have you been to any Star Citizen fan-festy things that are unofficial other than the Bar Citizens?
No.
Okay, so you were never there at BritainCon and stuff that I helped with, or okay, we'll have to go to some of these. Like next year, we'll try and go. They invited me there a few times. I'd love to have gone, and I suspect Zin would have loved to have gone to Belgium for effectively a free holiday that I paid for. But we will try and go next year. Quite genuinely, it's been a bad time for me just from so much stuff happening. And even if I'd said I was going to go this time, I wouldn't have gone now that my cat's been injured. Yeah, I love stuff like this. Hopefully it's going to be great. You'll see a load of content coming out from this from other YouTubers and content creators and people that at the event, just asking questions from the devs there, the panels there, and hopefully there'll be some interesting reveals or stuff talked about. I'm not entirely sure what CIG have planned or what they are allowed to do there, because obviously not an official CIG event, but they're turning up.
Yeah.
What do you think of stuff like that, where CIG are in attendance but aren't running the event? Do you think that's this cool, awesome thing? Or do you think that CIG have to be a bit cagey about what they do and what they say? Because obviously anything that's said there, even by like a slightly drunken dev, will be taken and used as evidence against them on Reddit.
I think the devs are old enough and responsible enough to not put their foot in their mouths.
Zin? Do you think I'm old enough and responsible enough not to put my foot in my mouth?
No, but you're not a CIG dev, so...
That's true.
Maybe there's a reason CIG don't give you any money.
Yeah, I think I'm a brand risk, I think's the term. Okay. And people are like, what? No, Bored, you're not a brand risk. You've been covering the game for years. Yes, but you have not seen me at a Bar Citizen. But
yeah, I think it's great that they come along. I mean, I kind of feel that for them as well, it's like quite a casual thing. So obviously CitizenCon, they have to work for any sort of CIG events. Yeah. They have to either have done a presentation or something like that, got something prepared, whereas this, they can just literally go along, not really do anything, just chat to people, and it's generally people of like-minded opinions and likes and stuff.
At least on the same page.
Yeah.
Right? Because I disagree with you that I've got like-minded opinions or anything, because the mass diversity of people I've talked to at Bar Citizens and these events. But yes, they're certainly on the same page. They're typically there to meet other people, have a drink, chat, learn about Star Citizen, see some of their dev heroes. Because CIG are kind of rock stars, some of them, especially like people like Brian Chambers and stuff, who are just seen as these awesome people to hang out with and chat to, and that you see them in the wild and you're like, oh, and they're just really talkative. And even Jared and people like that obviously they're more community focused anyway. But yeah, I love CIG's sort of devs getting involved with the community nature. I do think it's a worry and a concern and as I say, brand risk, just because you've got then devs attending these events and sometimes they're going to say stuff that they shouldn't say because they're like, maybe I'm not sure if I should have said that. And what if one gets a little bit drunk? God forbid. God forbid something like that would happen to me. But yes, if you can attend, tickets are still available, as I said. Go check out the website. I'll link it down below. And I'll try and get some information that was said at the panels and stuff and make a summary on that. But yeah, some of that stuff might be recorded to a degree. I don't think there's going to be a full-on live stream constantly throughout, but maybe next year. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about, to be honest. And obviously, we've got Fleet Week coming up from the 17th.
Hopefully 3.23 by then.
Well, 3.23 has to be out by then.
Yeah.
For Fleet Week. But yeah, I'm expecting 3.23 today or tomorrow. might be some issues with it. They should hotfix it before Fleet Week, and I think that it's possible that they'll delay Xenothreat until after Fleet Week as well, because I think that would be the most sensible thing to do. They may only run it for a week instead, and then I suppose they can run it again. They keep on running Xenothreat, and obviously Xenothreat might cause issues on the servers, so that's happened regularly. There's a load of updates for Xenothreat as well, and Idris is going to be boarded as part of the Xenothreat, and there's new cargo, and I'm really looking forward to Fleet Week with the Idris tours there as well, and the Polaris flyby. Oh, Zin, you're going to have your work cut out for getting footage.
Oh, God.
We're going to try and get the Polaris to get near the water so that we can see water. We're going to have to push it down to a planet to then see it go across the water. That's going to be great. They are. That's not even a joke. Right. Yeah, we've got stuff going on with NordVPN. We've had stuff going on with NordVPN for many years. You should potentially click on the links below, nordvpn.com/BoredGamer, and get yourself NordVPN. Zin, what do you like about NordVPN the most?
The way I can change my location to be anywhere I want in the world, and nobody knows I'm from the UK.
That's weird. For me, it's the money that they pay us for having people click the links. But also the fact that it protects my privacy and gives us increased accessibility. Whoa, maybe you should check those things out. Oh, Zin, what's this? I'm using my eyes. Oh, look over here. Now I'm looking over here. I wish there was something that could track where my eyes were looking. Oh, look, a Toby eye tracker. I'm looking at my Toby eye tracker.
You can't see me, I'm face palming.
Okay, but Toby eye tracker couldn't see your eyes if you did that either.
No, they couldn't.
It's natively supported in Star Citizen. There is a sale on until the 15th of May for that. Links down below for all those things. Click on it to support the channel. Well, I mean, buy them if you want to buy them. Don't spend your money erroneously or madly. Just if you want these things, and buy them. They are very cool. There's a giveaway as well for a C1 Spirit. Just comment on any of my videos made during the month to be in for a chance of winning that. And if you want to further support the channel, you can click on the join button under the videos. You can click on the Patreon link, do stuff like that. But liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting on the videos helps as well. Helps keep Zin in a job. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
She's face farming hard. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye. Have a great May.